are you? What up, y'all? Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. That's right, we are on another fucking tangent about talking about Welcome to Derry. You know, the show that's advertised with Pennywise the dancing clown holding the balloon and in giant letters that says it, but up until this episode, we haven't seen it. Seen who? We haven't seen it yet. Who's it? It, the clown, Pennywise. Oh. This episode has a lot of more expanding lore to the show. Previously on the last episode, I was telling y'all how much I genuinely fucked with this military aspect, and we get a lot more uncovered. So, you remember at the end of the last episode when that car is unraveled in that giant field that Dick Halloran shined? He saw that shit in his vision and he had them dig it up. That was related to an incident in the 1930s about the Bradley gang, and that is a deep cut from... I don't want to spoil too much because we'll get more into it, but it's cool that they're putting all these Derry Easter eggs from other novels and other stories and even the Stephen King It novel into canon. That's what I really fuck about Andy Muschietti right now. You can tell it's a passion project. He pretty much took this novel and this lore and created his own canon to it where it seems accurate. I've been really digging this Dick Halloran character a lot, and we get him predominantly more in this episode. Him and Sergeant Hanlon, Major Hanlon, become far more invested and close to each other when Hanlon and his partner have to take him on a mission to uncover the truth of this creature more. And we get some great excerpts and understanding that the military, they're not just looking for something that's curious. They 100% know that Pennywise is a creature and unfathomable alien, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. But how do they know this? Here's some lore. The episode starts with this young small boy, and he's at a carnival, and he's going through all these attractions, seeing the bearded lady, seeing the dog boy, more dog than he is boy, and he sees this one sign that says the skeleton man, and he goes in, and this creepy skeletal dude is in the shadows, and he goes, "Come closer, boy." And jump scares him. He's missing his eye. His teeth are gone. He looks like a fucking skeleton. He runs out. His dad's like, "Let's go, dude. I got you this little slingshot. We're gonna dip out of here." As they're driving home, they run out of gas, pretty much break down a little bit, whatever. He's like, "Dude, I spent all my fucking money at the fair. I spent all $4 I had. That was a month pay. Go buy us some water." So he goes up to this little stand. It's these Native American kids. Gives them 3 pennies. Like, it's 5 cents for that bottle of water. But I like your slingshot. And then this boy and the girl that's selling the water develop this nice, beautiful friendship, romance, summer loving, had me a blast type shit. And when they're in the woods playing, he's running and he's going into the dark end of the woods, and she's like, "No, don't." And this is where he sees that giant creature come running at him, but morphs into, you know, that Pennywise giant teeth, that Andy Muschietti effects where it's all like deformed, like morphing, and just like the giant teeth, that CGI, it's crazy. And the girl, Rose, she's like, "There's something about those woods that just aren't right." So we get a lore, and that was in 1908. So from 1908, Pennywise has been tormenting them. But we find out that the reason the military knows so much about this is that little boy is the main generalizing, like, general, major, sergeant, captain, whatever, of the military. And he's trying to get a hold of it. He has a reunion with Rose, and he's like, "I forgot everything about this town until I came back." And she's like, "That happens a lot," because in the original one, and the 2017 one also, Derry has this weird energy that when you leave, Pennywise's like defense mechanism is to have people forget. While all this is happening, the kids are really trying to figure it out. Lily, she's out of Juniper Hill. She's out of the crazy clinic. She's like, "I'm done with this." She has this nice heartwarming moment with like this maid house servant. She's like, "You know, if you believe the impossible, you got to find the right people to follow you." So she goes and does her condolences with, I keep wanting to say her name is Charlotte, the daughter of the dad who's being accused of murdering all these kids. And she's like, "I'm gonna come clean once and for all. We're gonna get..." She comes up with a camera, a Polaroid camera, and they're like, how are we gonna take a picture? Is it just gonna stop and pose? She's like, "You know what? I'm gonna get a shot of this once and for all, so they can see the bigger picture. I'm done being framed." Those jokes weren't mine. I stole them from my roommate. But we do find out that her dad, I'm gonna say Charlotte, I don't think that's her name, is in jail, and they're threatening him. They're like, "Dude, Sean Shake does not fuck with kitty killers." He's like, "I didn't do it. I didn't kill those kids." But he is clearly hiding something that you're really invested in. So all this is going on while, you know, Major Hanlon and Dick Halloran are up in the airplane. We see that Halloran has a box with that slingshot in it, and he's trying to shine this energy, you know, the captain or whatever gave it to him because he's like, I know that stopped the monster when I was a kid, because he shoots that monster in the woods. And he's like, just shine some energy. And while they're up in I love this part, as they're up in the helicopter, the Hellcat, I don't fucking know what it is, Hellcat, he's starting to have his shining thing, and the two pilots are like, what's going on? And he has this like out of body vision where he's like in the sewers, in the deadlights, and he goes up and he sees this giant box car with Pennywise the Dancing Clown logo on it, and it drops open, and you see these glaring yellow eyes, and you just hear the inquisitive concern of Pennywise's voice go, who are you? And then he sees the deadlights, his grandma's spinning around, and then he goes to fucking crank the lever to crawl out of the fucking sewer drain, and as he snaps out of it, Hanlon's shaking him, and he's trying to fucking open up the latch of the airplane and almost kills him. And so Hanlon's like, dude, that was crazy, I'm inviting you to dinner. And these guys have a very great bond with each other that I really like the dynamic of Hanlon and Dick Hallorann. They're two great characters that you invest in. And Hanlon says one thing to Dick, he's like, that night I was getting robbed in the military bunker. Something didn't sit right with me. He's like, I felt an energy, and it was your energy. Stop trying to read my mind. And then Dick goes, I've seen a lot of people's heads, and I've read a lot of minds, and everyone's scared of death, or they're thinking of their family, but in that moment you were analyzing. He's like, you are someone I don't want to fuck with. And I fuck with that too, because the same way he's saying he respects Mike Hanlon and he doesn't want to fuck with Mike Hanlon, that's how Pennywise kind of felt when he saw Dick inside of that his own world, because Pennywise is the eater of worlds and he feeds off fear. So to see a dude knock on your front door and be like, who the fuck are you? How'd you get into here? I feel like Dick's gonna be a very vital character. And then as all this is going on, the young kids, Lily, Will, Mike Hanlon's son, and his new friend, they all band together and they kind of do this seance thing in the woods with some candles. And the little Cuban kid, he's like, yeah, my granddad used to say there was evil spirits that you can summon and get them to come back, and that's what these kids think they're doing. And it's just this creepy little eerie haunting scene. And then as all that happens, they're snapping pictures, the candles blow out, they see some weird manifestations and creatures, and they snap a shot, break into the school. Will Hanlon's a genius, and he starts to, wave some pictures. The thing I like about Will Hanlon's character is that all these kids so far, from Lily to Will, they have a lot of heart and integrity, and you really like them, and they're very smart and invested. They're not like scared and gullible and kind of like cliched like they are in like the losers clubs. They have a lot of story and heart to them. Some like, Will and the other girl are kind of having a little crush thing going on, but they're like, they wave the picture and they get some funny ones, like some blurry ones, some of the woods, but the final one they settle on, just this blurry, haunting, ominous image of what looks like to be Pennywise. And then Will says, I think that's a clown. And then the episode ends. Boom, we finally get a taste of Pennywise. He's in this episode from that picture. And then when he looks at Dick Hallorann and asks who he is, they're starting to allude to it. I know there's only like 8 episodes in the season, so I really want to know where they're going. Is like, I'm invested, I'm hooked from the story of where was this young girl's dad, and why is he in jail? Why is he saying he didn't kill these kids, but he's trying to cover something up? Dick and Major's chemistry together, trying to unfold this lore, because he even says to Mike Hanlon, or to Leroy Hanlon, he goes, I saw inside your mind, and I don't want to fuck with you, but I would love to have you in the trenches with me. The fact that the main general of the army has that history with seeing it, and Rose, who is now a Native American, trying to like figure out what the military is doing, they rekindle, and then the kids trying to figure out what this clown is. I still want to figure out how the clown imagery comes into place, because in a lot of these episodes you're like, I understand that Pennywise manifested this design, but why? And there's just so much more to unravel. Alright guys, did you like this episode? Comment down below. We're going to be reviewing the whole series. I just dropped a new video, my top 10 best, worst, and mid horror movies of 2025. The Silent Hill one's still coming, I promise. I just got to get to it. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Give me a thumber. Hit that ding button for us, and you tell me, hey, it's me, I'm here, and I'm going to say 1 time for the 1 time and 2 time for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror. Like, thing that I make fun of a lot in movies, like when like survivors have to say something to a killer. Like if you're watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they're like, talk about a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, bitch, and then just like kill the killer, like just little corny lines like that.